Hey, do you feel like, okay, I get it, the perfectionism thing. Like, I know I have to let it go, but how do I actually do that? So today I've got 3 really practical tips for managing your perfectionism. But the big thing that I just want to put right up here at the beginning, because statistically people don't watch videos all the way until the end, and so I just really want this to be your takeaway here, is that we tend to think like, okay, we either are or aren't perfectionists. Like, that's just something about me. But the truth is, perfectionism is a habit. It's not a characteristic. It's not something that you have to live with forever. It's a choice you can make. And yeah, yes, we all have like certain inclinations and tendencies, maybe because of nature or nurture or whatever, we're more inclined to want to be perfectionists. But it doesn't mean we have to hang on to it forever. And I am living proof of that. I used to be the biggest perfectionist. I really think it took me almost a year, I think, to get my first website up, and years before I started doing video, let alone like a live video. And now, like, if you can see what I do now, I like write out some bullets, no rehearsal or anything, and go live. And if you had told me that before, I would have been like, that's crazy talk. You just don't even know me at all. That's not how I am. But actually, it turns out it's how I could be, and it's who I've become. And I just want to share with you that it's possible before I dive into these. Okay, hope that's encouraging. Three tips. The first one is to either set a timer for your work and call it good, or use the 80-20 rule, where you say, okay, I am going to do like 80% of the work. I'm shooting for B minus work. Because that is how you'll actually get content out there where you can actually serve people. Like, if I were giving in to what I want to do, which is, I want to write a script for these videos. I want them to be rehearsed. I want them to be professional. And thank you so much for joining live. If I did that, I would never have the time to actually produce weekly content. So the only way I can do it is with this 80-20 rule, or with setting a timer for myself and saying, Jenna, this is all you got. But I know a lot of people are like, oh, I can't do that. So I've got a trick, and this is number 2 for you. Number trick is to give yourself an opportunity to go back and revise. So this is like a little mental hack. You say, okay, Jenna, I'm going to push it out there at B minus level, but I know in 6 weeks, I'm going to allow myself 30 minutes to go back in there and quickly revise. Because 6 weeks from now, I will have tested the content, I'll have talked to more people, I know there's going to be some changes that I want to make, and so I'll allow myself to do that. But rather than doing it like bit by bit and then never getting it out there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to push it out right now, progress over perfection, and then I'm going to allow myself that chance 6 weeks from now or 3 months from now or whenever it seems realistic to go back in there and make those revisions that I'm dying to make. And honestly, I go back in and I do revisions on my website, for instance, pretty much quarterly, because I'm always talking to people, I'm getting new information, and I want that to be reflected on my website. I want it to be relevant. And so what I do is I keep a notes open on my phone, and wherever I am, whenever I am, when I think of something, I can jot it down there, but I don't have to take action on it until that time when I've actually scheduled it. And so that is really what allows you to kind of, okay, I got it, I'm putting it aside, and then I can go forward and do it. The third tip, I really want to keep this short, but if you have any questions, just pop them in. Or if you want to talk about something I haven't covered, I'm here to hash things out in real time. But for those of you that are short on time, the third tip, remember, number 1 was to do the 80-20 rule or the timer, right? Shoot for B minus work or the timer. Number 2 was then to set a date that you'll allow yourself to go back in and do some revisions. And then the third thing is immersion. And this one's really hard, but it's the one that's going to work for you the quickest. So for instance, if you are really nervous about whatever thing it is, do more of it, like a lot more of it rather than less of it. So Jia Jiang has an amazing TED Talk about this, about how he was so worried about rejection that he decided he was going to immerse himself in rejection, and he was just going to make sure he got rejected at least once every day for, I think it was 90 days or something. And actually we have a group member, Sarah Wallace, who was really nervous about doing lives. So she forced herself to do one every day for 30 days. And now she's like made that her thing. You know, she is out there constantly. But it would have, if she had only done one live a month, for instance, it would have maybe taken her a year to get over that fear and that hesitancy. So immersion can be so painful, but so powerful. And it's the only way you'll go. I mean, the thing is, you need to be, like, before you can be great, you need to be good. And before you can be good, you need to be bad, unfortunately. You need to start somewhere. And that's why, I don't know if you know this, but I have left all of my videos up live specifically because I want people to see that we all started somewhere. And I've had people tell me, like, well, Jen, you seem natural on video. Like, it must just, you know, you must just be comfortable doing it. Oh, hell no. You have no idea. If you go back to my early videos, like on the Uncommon Way Facebook page is the easiest way to get to them, you will see me stumbling and fumbling my way through things and just looking awkward as all heck. We all start somewhere, and really the more you do it, is the more quickly you're going to get over that, and the more quickly you're going to feel more comfortable. And that's not just video, that's anything. It comes with social media content. If you're only pushing out, you know, one post a month, then it's going to take you a while to get over that hesitancy and that perfectionism, basically. Whereas if you're just like Jenna, you're going to do one a day for 30 days. Well, all of a sudden, you just have to get it done. So I know that's a little hard. That's kind of the performance coach in me coming out, being like, no, you can just do it. And it's not for everybody, but for those of us that choose to step up to it, it can be a godsend. Just like clear that stuff out, get it off my mind, and move on. Because really what it all comes down to is just getting the content out there to actually serve the people. And nobody really cares. If it were truly perfect, you'd never get it out there. And if you don't believe that, then you, my sister, are not really a perfectionist, because those of us that are know that there's always something we could be doing to make it better, right? There's always more people we could be talking to, better language we could be coming up with, more inspiration. We could put it away for a while, reflect about it, come back to it. It would never get out there. That's why I'm going to link to this one video that I've done, which is one of the most popular videos ever, just on the mindset of perfectionism, that really talks about how you need to get into this attitude of just serving, even if it's just one person, they won't care. And that's another reason, for instance, leaving your old videos up there, your old work that you may not think is as good as what you're doing now. You know what? If someone, first of all, no one goes back to look at that stuff, right? Social media moves so quickly. No one's ever going to see that or care about it. But if they do stumble across it, there's probably a message in there that they really needed to hear. And they probably needed to hear it from you in that way that you could only do when you were first starting out as a beginner. So you've just got to believe that that happens for a reason. And if it's going to speak to somebody, it's because they need to hear it in that way. That can be just really powerful to kind of step back from yourself. So I am going to link to that video, and I'm also going to link to this amazing quote from Ira Glass, where it starts off with something like, you know, nobody tells this to beginners, but, and it just goes from there. It's so good. And I'm going to recap quickly those 3 tips for like practical tips. Number 1 is set a timer and or tell yourself you're only going to do B- work, the 80-20 rule. Number 2 is to schedule revisions. Give yourself that little hack that it's okay if it's not perfect, because you're going to go back there and you're going to make it better in 6 weeks or 3 months. But you only give yourself like a half hour to make it better. You're not going to spend another week making it better. And then the 3rd one is immersion. Just do even more of it. Like if you used to feel like, oh, writing a 2-page paper in high school was so difficult, and then you got to college and they're like, we want you to write a 10-page paper every quarter. You're like, all of a sudden, oh my God, stepping up to a whole new level. But by the end of the year, you're used to it and it's no big thing. And you're ready for the next challenge, which is what entrepreneurship is about. Okay, you guys, I hope that was helpful. Let me know, and let me know if there are any other things coming up for you where you're like, yeah, Jenna, but that stuff is always really juicy. Whenever you feel like, yeah, Jenna, but I want to hear it, because it probably needs to be like addressed, and we can hash that out. Okay, have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.